Good morning, hope you're doing really well. Today I am in Essex. Actually, I'm not too far away from the Kent border. We're in Fobbing, yeah, we're in this glorious marsh area, beautiful for nature and habitation. And I'm walking along the old sea wall at the moment, and we're off to find another decoy bunker, of which it's more than likely probably going to be overgrown, but it still tells a fascinating story nonetheless. And I really hope you stay along and enjoy this video with me. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a nice little walk. I've thankfully bought Wellingtons, which I totally advise, and it's just stereotypical of these decoy bunkers. It just proves the fact of how remote they really are, for obvious good reason. So if you've already seen plenty of my videos on decoy bunkers and what I suggest is, get myself back in the light. What I suggest is you just skip the history lesson. But if you want a history lesson regardless, stay with me. And let's go explore Fobbing's decoy bunker. Stay with me. See you on the other side. Bye for now. Bombing decoy sites for me are a fascinating part of forgotten World War II history, and for the most part largely understated for the vital role that they played. So it's in this video that we head to Essex to take a look at Fobbing bombing decoy. Situated in pasture land known as Fobbing Marshes, this would be designated an oil QF decoy site and started operation in August 1941, with its role being to simulate the results of a successful nighttime bombing raid on an oil refinery. In this case, it would be Shell Haven Oil Refinery, which occupies a large site on the north bank of the River Thames. This would happen at night by burning pools of oil which simulated ring fires from burning oil storage tanks, ignited electronically from the bunker, in hopes that German bombers would take the bait and drop their bombs along the marsh. The bunker is fairly small in comparison to other sites, but still having the two-roomed layout, with one room being the operations room with an escape hatch, and the other room being the engine room, which, even though the concrete base is no longer present, it was noted at one time to have existed. Then, outside, 6 storage bays for the drums of oil necessary for the operation of the site. As with most decoy sites, their success during bombing raids has always been argued, but either way, for the role they played, they will never be forgotten. Hello, welcome back to the channel. Trying to figure out the light. So we are here, we're at Fobbing decoy bunker, decoy site, whatever you want to call it. And we're at Fobbing Marshes, which, as you can see, is very typical of what you would expect from decoy sites, like we sort of mentioned already. The fact of its location, being on marshland, perfect for obviously if German bombers decided to bomb this instead, that obviously you're not really going to be doing much damage. And because it's marshland as well, it just sort of proves effective in terms of the fact that it's obviously not going to really harm anybody, except obviously if you get quite close to Fobbing itself, which is just over there in the distance. But yeah, see, I always sort of say about these videos, so excuse me if I'm repeating myself, I have to sort of sometimes treat this channel as assuming the fact that you've never watched my channel before, but decoy sites are the most videos that I've put out on the channel. What I'm trying to say is that out of all the videos or locate types of site that I've done on my channel, there we go, it's better, decoy sites are the most. We're well into double figures now, and I thought, because of the fact that this isn't too far away from me, because I'm northwest Kent lad, and actually, to be fair, this probably should have been one that I should have done a long time ago, just because of how easy it is. The moment I hop along on the old Dartford crossing, you're practically hearing fobbing, and then obviously it's just a little hop, skip and a jump along the old marshes. And I'm glad I wore my Wellingtons today. It is quite squelchy underfoot, so if you do come here, and it's not in summertime when we've had roasting heat, just wear appropriate footwear because it is muddy. Now, first thing I want to talk about is it's in relatively good condition from the outside. Now, I've not been in yet, so God knows what's in there. And I apologise for the wind. Thank God I have got a wind muff on here, but it just proves the point of we are on marshland. There is nothing else around here except for the moo cows, the beautiful moo cows that are here. And yeah, hopefully the wind doesn't come out too much. But yeah, here we are. We'll talk about, well, obviously the container units over there, which is still here, which is quite rare sometimes to sort of see. We'll go to those probably at the end of the video, but more importantly, I think we should take a look inside. What do you reckon? Let's go. Okay, so here we are. We're not going to spend too long in here today. Nice little steps. Like I said, I've done so many of these before, but it's, you know, it's not to say we shouldn't really do a good one version of this, but there you go. Wow, interesting. Looks like someone's cleaned this up and put paint on it. How fascinating. Sorry about the torch. The only one that I could grab to hand, but it still does a good job, doesn't it? Yeah, look, there's like a paintbrush down there. Paintbrushes. Somebody's put paint around this. Interesting. If that's the farmer or some random person's been doing that. So obviously this is the first room. Interesting how the layout is completely different on this one. But then we've seen that on other decoy sites. Most layouts on the decoy bunkers aren't necessarily straightforward. Normally have 2 rooms. And here we are. And obviously you've got these viewing points, or defensive also as well. I mean, it's the whole point that, you know, this could be used as sort of pillboxes, although that they were never specified for that purpose. And obviously we've also got the escape hatch here with the ladder, which looks interesting to me because there's a ringlet there as well for probably a hatch that would have gone across, I'm assuming. And there's a ladder there, which looks, because somebody's painted it, it's hard to tell whether that is original or not, because it looks too clean. So I wouldn't be surprised if, well, I don't know. I mean, it's clearly probably World War II. I would guess that, but if not, it looks modern. But that's because it's been painted on. So either way, on that one, you know, someone's had a good go at like going up and down them, haven't they? Because it bent them out proper out of shape. Interesting in this one, it looks like people have been like camping or doing weird stuff in here, considering how out of the way we are as well, and then painting it and then stop painting it. I mean, what's that all about? They get bored? Did they run out of paint? There's the original. I'm assuming that's the original paint in there. Yeah. Charcoal matte. Is that the same colour? It looks it. Turns out to, all of a sudden turns out to be an Urbex video, the paint that they used. But yeah, so simple construction in the bunker. Let's talk about its actual history. It's 2 rooms, obviously. It's really hard to sort of ignore the fact of all the paint and all the flooring that they've done on it. There was rumours at one point that bats were using this, but I mean, definitely no evidence of that in here at all, if I'm being honest. I mean, if they did, they're definitely not here anymore. Perfect little cubby holes for bats though, however, especially because this side, if you follow my tracer, all of that behind there is heavily, this bush, basically huge bush, which you probably sort of saw from the outside. But yeah, it's actually a relatively, my only real observation on it really would be that it's actually a relatively smart decoy site. I don't know whether it's because the paint in here gives it that illusion. but it's very echoey and cavernous. It's more square than rectangular, I would say, in construction. But then, like I've just said, most decoy bunkers, as you've probably seen if you follow my channel, all different shapes and sizes, obviously square in design, but either they're rectangular or they're sort of, I suppose, like this shape. But like I said, it's interesting again, the two-room design. Good to tick this one off the list, like I said, because it's a local one. Because I always sort of say, really, the whole reasoning why why I champion these so much is because of the fact of the importance that they did play in World War II and the bravery of the people that were here, knowing that they would be under fire. The whole point was that they were designed to attract German bombing away, and from industrial or rural areas, if we're talking in general, even from obviously from airfields as well, from any specific site that was deemed under threat, really, whether that was on industrial level, military, or even sometimes civilian as well. You can see the construction here as well. These concrete, huge concrete, oh God, I can't talk today. Concrete blocks, there we go. We'll get there in the end. Sorry for my pronunciation today. Typical early morning for me when my brain isn't. You can see it really clearly how they've sort of like built it. There's a big concrete base at the floor here, quite thick, if you can see that. And then what they've done is they've interweaved it with these concrete blocks, these small rectangular ones. So it's almost like a almost like a Lego set, or like a Duplo, actually, if you want to sort of get dimensions of a Duplo set, if any of you actually know what Duplo is. These huge big blocks, basically bigger Lego. Quite funny actually, because I wonder if people have actually, it's quite funny because you could probably easily recreate one of these via Lego or Duplo or something, because of just how the fact that you can actually see how well these were designed. You can almost treat these as individual Lego blocks, but yeah, sorry, went off complete tangent there. It's quite interesting when your mind sort of takes you to these sort of places. But there we go anyway. So, this is our decoy bunker. We need to go outside and explore the final section of it. So, let's go. Come on. Here we are. So, these are the fuel containers for the storage of the fuel that would have been here. And again, they've seen probably better days, but that's totally fine. We're expecting now, I mean, we've got to understand that World War II, you know, time really is now going to be in World War II. We'll probably reminisce with this and just sort of say to ourselves, actually, we're expecting now to see World War II sites in relatively bad condition, just because of the fact that, you know, it is a long time ago now. You know, 2 generations in the fact that my gran and my granddad both were in World War II, and things are just going to sort of get trashed and everything else. So, you know, like I always say before, it's rare sometimes when you do see places that haven't been littered or anything else like that, and more importantly, that's probably because they're on private land. Just wanted to take you back because I just wanted to point out how well hidden this is now. The only thing that really stands out on this side is obviously the escape hatch, which quite likely has been mentioned at one point, that these types of things can always be used as observables. So, in fact, with the eye of faith on that, you can imagine that also being part of an observable section of the decoy as well. Saw that in Portsmouth's decoy site, where there was a metal, steel I think it was, on top, and that was also being used, that they could use that not only as an escape hatch but as observable. And we can see the juxtaposition in this as well, the fact of obviously that's our entrance, we come down, and then the 2 sections clearly marked off. And then we can see on top as well our concrete lid as well. So we've got our concrete there, and then we've got our concrete sort of rubble stoneware in there as well. Amazing. So yeah, 2 whole sections on that. brilliant. But yeah, let's head back. Oh, that wind. Didn't think it'd be that bad today. So like I said, I apologise if it's coming out a little bit windy, but not much I can do. And the thing again is, when you're on marshland, you are going to be exposed to the elements no matter what. I would have had this even in summertime if this was the case. But yeah, here we are. So yeah, oh. You can see how overgrown nature is taken, which is beautiful. As I always say, nature should win in the end. Our fuel stores. Such an important site, like I said, for Essex. You know, there are other decoy sites in Essex, but it's a good one for me because it's local. Other bits of concrete here. I'm trying to work out what this is. It's quite interesting actually, because you can easily trip over it if you're not careful. But yeah, there we are. Well, as the wind batters me to death, I just want to say thank you so much for coming along with me on this mini explore fobbing decoy bunker. Sorry about the lighting, just can't seem to get it right today. I'm really hoping when I get back that the wind hasn't completely destroyed this video, but you never know, can only try. Thank you so much for coming along with me, and in more words of Phoenix history, because history matters, and it's another one to tick off the list, isn't it? Another decoy site. And we didn't really need to spend too long there, did we? But it's what I say about these decoy sites, and I'll always keep mentioning it. You've got to understand that the people who worked here were so important to the war effort, and in many ways unsung heroes, because they purposely risked their lives to actually be here under the premise that they knew that there was going to be every chance that they were going to be the target. And the simulation of the fires, the simulation of these sites, like I said, whether it was industrial, military, or in some cases obviously civilian, in terms of trying to distract from a town, for example. We saw that in Swindon decoy site's quite an interesting one, or one of the decoy sites at Swindon that I did. See, the fact that it was trying to divert away from Swindon's industrial site of the railway, etc, etc, but because that was so close to the town. Similar in Portsmouth in a certain way as well. But yeah, like, you know, you get the idea. But yeah, so in more words of Phoenix history, like I said, because history matters, and I'll see y'all very soon. Look after yourselves, everybody. Remember to spread the word of this channel. Much love, and I'll see y'all very soon. Remember, kapow!